Welcome, Advocates for Justice Paralegal Service. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most popular videos on my YouTube channel, and that is elimination of property tax. Okay, the current property tax collection system is illegal, and I have just what you need to attack the unlawful property tax collection in civil court. Okay, but first, before we get into all of that, I want to take a minute to ask you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive free foreclosure defense tips and strategies that can help you get control of your foreclosure situation today. Okay. Also, I want to show you my fancy award that I got from Chandler, Arizona for my work in foreclosure defense. Pretty snazzy. I'm real proud of it. It's almost as cool as the Super Bowl trophy. And I also have on my Travis Kelce 87 Super Bowl shirt, Kansas City Chiefs shirt. So, okay, let's get back to business. Property tax collection lawsuit package. Okay, so the deed filed in the county recorder's office, your deed, your property deed filed in the county recorder's office is what triggers the property tax collection, zoning, and code enforcement. Okay. Once they get your deed file in the office, they start charging you. They actually reclassify your property as residential, commercial, or agricultural. And most people don't realize that residential actually means a house that a government official lives in. So that whole reclassification of your property is for the sole purpose of taxation, because under the Constitution, it's illegal to tax private property. So they take your private property, they reclassify it as one of their commercial things, and then they just start charging you taxes on it. That whole process is illegal, and people don't realize that. And I'm still waiting for someone to get the letter sent out so I can see how they respond to it. Okay, but it's unlawful what they're doing. Okay, there is and so here's the deal. There is no law that mandates property owners must file the deeds of their property in the county recorder's office. Nope, there's no law that mandates that you have to do that. As a matter of fact, back in the old days, things were much more simpler. You know, you just took your deed down to the notary, you had it notarized, and when you signed it, and in order for someone to take over your property, they'd have to come out with the deed that was notarized before yours. Okay, you take your deed home, put it in the family Bible. Okay, there wasn't all this complicated situation of filing your property tax in the county recorder's office and stuff. So that all came up by the bar members putting this program together that they use. And one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that the whole process is done without your knowledge or consent. Well, maybe your consent, but really they didn't disclose exactly what they were doing. So you can't provide consent when you're not disclosed exactly what was going on. Now, the way I see it, the fact is they haven't violated any laws because you did not object to them filing your property tax, your deed in the county recorder's office. You know, had you objected to it and they filed it anyway, then okay. So now, since you didn't object to it, you know, you agreed to it, or the bar member convinced you that that's what needed to happen. Well, now you can let them know that you don't agree anymore, and you want your property, and you want the deed to your property back. So you were not fully informed that the state would profit from your private property by having a property deed in their office. Yeah, most people don't realize that a lot of times your property deed is used for collateral for loans from the federal government. So people have a debt attached to their property they don't even know about. Okay, my strategy is to serve them a certified notice of claim for $5.5 million and demand that they return your deed and remove any evidence of it from their records. Without your deed in their record, there's no property tax, there's no zoning, there's no, all of that stuff that you've been dealing with is all gone if your deed is not filed in their office. So basically what this boils down to is not so much the property tax, eliminating the property tax. What you're doing is regaining control of the deed to your property so you can put it in your family Bible instead of leaving it in their office. That's what you're doing here, okay? And like I said, there's no law that mandates it has to be in there, so I don't see any legal defense they should have for not returning it to you. And like I said, I'm really excited. I'd like to see how they respond to this so that I can continue making documents that we need to make this work for us. Anybody that invests in this property tax lawsuit package, I'll ask you guys to join our private group so I can keep track of everybody. And then that way I can let everybody know in the group if there's changes that have been made or if there's new documents that have been included into the package, okay? Now, if they fail to return your deed, then all you're going to do is just file your lawsuit in federal court. And when you file your lawsuit against them in federal court, I'm thinking you're going to need to file as an M1 defendant, whoever it was that was responsible for putting your deed in the county recorder's office. You're also going to probably need to add the state to it because the state is the one that's controlling it right now, okay? And then by adding the state, that's also going to force federal court to hear your complaint, because you can't file it in state court and have a state court judge rule over this because they all stick together, and we already know how that works. At the end of the day, since there's no law that mandates property owners have to file their deed in the county recorder's office, they have no legal defense for not returning your property deed, none that I can see anyway. And like I said, I'm excited to see how they try to get out of this, because what they're doing is illegal, And like I said, back in the old days, things were a lot simpler, okay? Now we're told to file our deed in the county recorder's office to protect our property from thieves, okay? The question of the day is, where do you think these fraudulent attorneys, okay, are getting the property information they need to make fake assignments that they're using to attack people's property in foreclosure? Yeah, you guessed it. They're getting it from the county recorder's office. So anybody that invests in this package needs to keep close contact with me on how things go when you file it, or when you mail it to them, to see what they have to say. Because like I said, we want to address this problem head on. This is my non-conventional strategy to get control of your deed, get control of the deed to your property, okay? And remember, it's not about whether you have to pay property taxes, okay? And that's what they're going to try and move it over to. Oh, you have to pay taxes, you have to pay for the fire department, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the issue here is you were not informed, okay, when you failed to object to them filing a deed to your property in their office, okay? So now you want your deed returned, okay? And the property tax issue is not your problem, okay? Once you get your deed removed from their county recorder's office, they will not be able to charge you property taxes. And that's why they're going to probably fight to try and convince you that there's some other reason that it needs to be there. And I can't wait to hear what those excuses are going to be, okay? Without your deed in their office, there's no property tax, there's no zoning, there's no code enforcement. All that stuff is all initiated with your deed being unlawfully filed in the county recorder's office, okay? So if you're ready to make an investment to get your property deed returned to you, okay, click on the link before, okay, and let's make this happen. Or you can go to my website at winincourtnow.com and look for the Eliminate Property Tax package to make your investment. If you have questions, please give me a call. My number is 913-240-0227, and I'm going to leave some information on the bottom down there in the description area that you can use to find me, or also leave a link to my video page. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next video. We're going to talk about how to block the eviction process in a non-judicial foreclosure. So I'll see you on the other side. And please don't forget, click the button down there and subscribe to my channel. It's going to help me out a lot. Thank you. Have a great day.